arm day today. Only just recently added it to my split and I love it. I really like it. This means that I'm training 6 days a week now, not 5. But it also means that I'm not training arms at the end of a bigger muscle group when I'm running out of gas and I can't really put as much energy into it. And I don't mind going to the gym an extra day. If anything, it gets me out of the house, which doesn't happen that often these days. That's actually a bit of a problem, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't see that much sunlight these days, and I feel it sometimes, especially during winter. And I think we're all a bit like that. We're very photosensitive. So yeah, it means I'm doing more steps. It means I'm somewhat seeing more sunlight. So yeah, really don't mind it. It doesn't really feel like a training day either. Like the intensity that you produce when you're training arms is nowhere near as much as when you're training back or chest or obviously legs. I usually superset triceps and biceps just to save a bit of extra time, but you don't necessarily have to. Like, this is my choice because it means that I'm in the gym a little bit less, especially since I'm doing 3 exercises each. So it will be like a 6 exercise session and it can drag a bit. Obviously, again, like the time that it takes me to warm up for arms is nowhere near as long as what it takes me to warm up for something like cardio, like yesterday, or just a bigger muscle group. But still, 6 exercises might mean an hour and a half to like 2 hours to complete it. So since they're antagonist muscle groups, it works. Antagonist means essentially that they're opposite muscle groups that have opposite functions. In this case, the biceps flex the arm at the elbow joint. The triceps extend the arm at the elbow joint. So they have opposite functions. So this means that while you're training one, you're kind of resting the other one. It's not really working synergistically, neither to stabilize the lift or anything like that. So it makes sense to superset them. And again, like, I don't really need to rest my central nervous system or my cardiovascular system at the end of a tricep set or at the end of a bicep set. So it works for that reason too. I was talking to a friend of mine about this YouTube journey, this YouTube thing, and he was like, well, what are you going to film when you're not working out? So currently, the only day of the week I don't work out is Sunday. So what I'm going to do for now on that day is just film my check-in and discuss how the week went and what's going to happen the following week. So give you guys a bit of a physique update and perhaps a bit of a life update too. So yeah, that's going to be the current setup.
Okay, so first superset is going to be a French press on a slight incline bench with a bicep curl, single arm, unilateral, kind of leaning onto the side. The choice for these 2 exercises is, first of all, the French press. I honestly think it's one of the best arm builders overall, one of the best tricep exercises in my opinion. I started doing them in 2019. So I've been doing them for about 4 or 5 years and it really made a difference in my tricep development. And I'm pretty sure that that's one of the reasons why my triceps develop so well. Because it has some qualities of a compound movement, even though it's more of an isolation movement. There's a lot of stabilization going on with the shoulder. At times, a tiny bit of help with the teres muscles and the lats. And I think this just gives you the opportunity to go really heavy with it and still get a great connection with those 2 meters for the triceps. So highly recommend it. The only issue with this exercise is that a lot of people have elbow pain when performing it. I don't think it's necessarily an issue, like meaning that you can do a very similar movement just on the cable, setting up the bench in a way where the cables are coming right behind you and you get the same, a similar line of resistance and a similar angle. But this means that you can position yourself in a way where basically the elbows are not going to hurt and it's more gentle on the joints for you. So yeah, first working set, I'm aiming for 6 to 10 reps as usual. Let's go. Going slightly lighter for the same rep range, similar rep range, but slightly lighter weight for the bicep. This is usually the case. It should be the case. Your triceps should be slightly stronger than your biceps, given that they're a bigger muscle. But of course, it depends on the movement, depends on a person. But if there's a disproportion in your strength between your biceps and your triceps, and your biceps are evidently stronger, you definitely want to have a look at that and start working on your triceps more. It's common practice with unilateral exercises to start with the weaker side, which for me is my right. This isn't always as straightforward, especially when you become a bit more intermediate advanced. You find that there are certain body parts that are stronger on the right, so certain body parts that are stronger on the left. This is normal, by the way. And sometimes it's not even related on whether you're left-handed or right-handed. I'm a lot stronger on my right for a lot of different exercises and muscle groups. But when it comes to biceps, my left is slightly stronger. So as you can see, I probably had another couple of reps on my left. It's not as bad as it used to be, but there's a reason why I injured. Fucking hell, I always talk about injuries. Just realized. But again, like, they are inevitable, you know? If you push yourself in whatever sport, especially if structurally you're a little bit uneven. But anyway, I dislocated my first rib in 2018. And what that did, once we got it back in place, is that it slightly damaged the nerves of my right arm. And as a result, I couldn't activate my bicep or my delt. I basically lost the majority of my strength. I couldn't even curl 4 kilograms. For quite a few months, it took a while to rebuild the full activation. But ever since, it's never been as strong as it used to be. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely a lot stronger now than I was then. But the connection with my rear delt, the connection with my bicep, there's certain muscle groups that yeah, I still don't really connect as well as I used to. But yeah, so let's talk about the single arm curl. Probably noticed I was leaning onto the side. Why do I do that? This is to align the joints perfectly. When you're using dumbbells, you're using a vertical line of resistance. So the dumbbells are pushing, because of gravity, they're pushing straight down, right? So if you're working on the biceps, you want to make sure that your humerus, just this bone here, so your upper arm is perpendicular to the ground. This means that when I'm curling, I'm using my biceps directly without anything else in between, and I'm perfectly aligned with where the resistance is going, and I'm pulling directly against the line of resistance. Resistance is pushing down, the dumbbell is pushing down, I'm pushing right up with my palm, and I'm going in full flexion of the arm. And that's why I'm leaning onto the side. If I was to stand straight, my elbow would be pointing out to the side, especially if you start getting like really big and your lats flare out a lot. That's when you're going to be struggling to just really pull the elbows in. Even me, I mean, I'm not huge, but if I was to really pull the elbows in, it'd be a bit of a struggle. I definitely have to put my shoulder in flexion to be able to, to actually pull my elbows in. Second superset. It's going to be a tricep push down, rope tricep push down with a rope hammer curl. This is like one of my favorite supersets because it's so handy, so easy to set up, so easy to do. It saves you so much time. You can combine two great exercises, perform them back to back, and it fits perfectly into an arm day. I like to do the tricep push down with 2 ropes. I talk about this a lot in all my socials. It basically just helps me align the joints so I can go a little bit wider here. I can go about shoulder width. It also means that when I extend, I can go down and back behind the hips and you really use the full range of motion of the tricep. This obviously also allows me to go a little bit lighter. It allows me to not having to hunch forward or roll the shoulders forward and put a bit of my front delts into the lift. So I highly advise everyone on doing that. Of course, using 2 ropes in a gym that is really busy, it's going to be annoying, but you can also perhaps consider the idea of buying yourself an extra long rope and just bring it with you to the gym. Same way as you bring your straps, you bring your rope. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's go. Full flexion, extension. Slow negative as usual. One more. Fuck. I'm doing a rest pause with this, so resting 15 seconds, then I'll go again, same weight, just as many as I can. 2-3 reps. Let's see. Literally just a breather, and then straight back into it. This helps making the set a little bit longer, push beyond the point of failure. Just like pretty much any intensifier, you're either accumulating more volume or you're pushing beyond the point of failure. So in this case, we're accumulating effective reps. So these are the reps that are really close to failure, which are obviously the most effective ones. Fuck. And then slide it down. Super easy. So for this one, I would use one rope. I know, not very practical. You can use two. If you're taller, it definitely helps. For me, I'm quite short, so it wouldn't quite allow me to go to full extension of the arm. I'd basically be touching the ground too early. So I just use one rope. I'm gonna go slightly heavier for this. I know that this is kind of contradictory to what I said earlier, but it is a slightly different exercise because I'm going into a neutral grip. It means that I'm using a lot more of the forearms and the brachialis as well to help the lift. So again, it's more of a compound lift. It's not as much as an isolation. It's not an isolation as much as the single arm curl where I'm supinating completely. Same rep range, rest pause again. Let's go. Fuck. 15 seconds. It's a great pump. You shouldn't really be chasing the pump. It's not necessarily a great indicator that you're having a productive workout, but fuck me, it is a great pump. One more. Okay, so final superset. It's going to be this overhead tricep machine. This is a Banata machine. I'm not actually like a massive fan of this machine, but I wanted something overhead and all the cables were occupied. Since it's the last exercise of the day, I'm not so fixated on the exercise selection. Well, I am in a way of, I want that type of movement. I want a overhead tricep extension movement. But if I'm doing it with the machine or at the cable, I'm not too fast. I do have preferences, of course, but you know, this is good. So I'm supersetting this with another bicep machine, which I'm going to film after. And it's kind of a similar principle. So for that bicep exercise, I'm going to be in a position where my front delt is in a slight stretch, meaning that my shoulder is extended. And this means that I'm stimulating the bicep in a longer position. So for this, I'm going to go for a drop set, starting from a 8 to 12 rep range. Making sure that I get a nice stretch at the bottom. My triceps are already pretty fried. Not really looking at the numbers now. I'm just getting through it. That's it. Dropped a bit more now. Want to get at least 8 reps. That's it. There's nothing left. That's not a bad place to be. Okay, so last exercise, as we were saying, want my shoulder in extension. So then my elbow is slightly behind the body. So for something like this, I definitely want the elbow to be in line with the axis here of the machine. Actually, for me personally, I feel it's slightly better when I'm slightly below, like slightly lower with the C. And then you definitely want to extend your thoracic, so open up your chest so that the elbow can really go behind the body. It stays glued on the pad and kind of works like a drag curl, basically, similar to that. And again, I'm gonna go for 8 drop set, starting from 8 to 12. I wish I could go a bit further back when I extend my arm. It's still a pretty good machine, definitely one of the best we have here, but still wish we had a little bit more range of motion at the bottom. Really making sure that my elbows don't come forward, to really keep them on a pad all the way through. Slight dropping weight, not expecting a lot of reps. See what happened on you saw what happened on tricep extension. Fuck. Could have controlled that negative a bit more. Okay, last one. Fucking arms are about to fall off. It's a good feeling, it's a good feeling. At this point, the pump is fucking gone. I'm not even pumped, I'm just fucked. Come on. Oh, that's good. Okay, so to recap, we did a French press superset with a single arm dumbbell curl. We did 3 sets each, 2 sets in a lower rep range. Final set, a bit more metabolic, higher rep range, above 10, between 10 to 15. Second superset was a rope tricep push down, double rope tricep push down. Superset with a rope hammer curl. Again, 3 sets, 2 sets were rest ball sets, meaning 3 mini sets each, plus a final set, which was just a straight set between 8 to 12. So I still didn't really drop the weight. I didn't go too high reps on that one. The load was pretty similar to the previous 2 sets. And then final superset, we did 2 drop sets on the overhead tricep extension, 2 drop sets here. That's it, done. Just wanted to quickly show you the pump. Oh, whatever's left of it. Oh. Obviously, we do a proper check-in on Sunday. Oh. You gotta love an arm day, man. There's nothing like it. Fun, low commitment, and the pump is good. If If only we always looked like we look when we're pumped. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If it's the first time watching one of my videos, make sure that you like, subscribe. I post content like this every single day. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.